Hello, I'm Safi. I'm a bookworm. Welcome to my new booktube channel. I thought I'd just try to do a little newbie booktube tag today. Is that what it's called? I hope it is. Before I start with the newbie tag questions, I thought I'd just tell you a little bit about who I am. I am Safi. I am a bookworm, obviously. I am 26, soon to be 27, and I'm Italian. Don't know if you can hear that from my accent. I am currently living in Norway, not in Italy, though I was born and raised in Italy. And I just love reading. That's it. That's all I'm gonna say for this introduction. You'll probably find out more about me later. So should I just start with the first question maybe? Which is, why did you start this channel? And I mean, how many reasons can there be to start a booktube channel, really? Because I love reading and I want to share my thoughts with as many people as possible. And I already have a bookstagram, and I thought, you know what? I think I want to try to talk about books, like not just write book reviews and make bookish posts, but also like talk about books to more people than just my partner, who is probably tired of listening to me at this point. So yeah, I just started this channel because I want to share my thoughts about books. What else? Then second question, what are some fun and unique things you can bring to booktube? I want to try to bring some fun, spooky content because that's what I like. Hopefully that's fun and unique enough. Then third question is, what are you most excited for about this channel? Well, I'm excited to start making reading vlogs. I've never tried before, but I would obviously love to, and see how it goes. I'm just excited to talk about the books that I'm reading with someone that isn't my partner or my colleagues at work, which, by the way, I also work at a bookstore. So yeah, I live for books basically in all fields of my life. It's not just my hobby, but it's also my job. Why do you love reading? That's also a difficult question to answer, I feel. I just do. I've always loved reading. It's not something I've ever really questioned, but I guess maybe I just prefer fiction to reality. I guess I'm just gonna leave it at that. Question number 5 is, what book or series got you into reading? And well, apart from the obvious answer, which is Harry Potter, I feel like it's most people's answer. I read children's books, which you've probably never heard of because they're all Italian children's series that I don't think have an English translation or any translation at all, probably. So I'm not even going to mention them. What questions would you ask your favorite booktubers is the next question. And I think that the thing I'm wondering about the most is, how do y'all keep finding creative and new ideas for your content? And also, how do you keep your motivation on? How do you keep getting inspired to make new content? I would love to know that. And also, how do you find the time to be making so much content? Because I only had like this bookstagram thing going for a couple of years now, but I've only started really creating posts that require more than just like a little bit of time in these last few months, and they take up so much time, and I always feel like I don't have enough time. So I'd like to know, how do people find the time? Question number 7. What challenges do you think starting a booktube channel will be hardest to overcome? Is it just me, or does that question even make sense? I guess I'm not the one asking questions here, so. But the challenges that will be hardest to overcome will probably be finding the time to keep on with this. Other than, as I just said, finding inspiration, finding motivation, finding new ideas, new things, but mainly finding the time between a part-time job and Instagram and actually like reading. For example, next question is, when did you start reading? I guess I started reading very early. My parents encouraged me to start very early, so I did. I think I was about like around 5 or 6 years old when I started reading my first books, and I've loved reading ever since. Where do you read is the next question, and I just read at home and mainly on my sofa. So sometimes I also read at cafes or at the library, but that's rarer, mainly because there aren't that many cafes in the town where I live. It's a very small Norwegian town, and there's like probably not more than 5 cafes. And if you count the ones that are open until after like 4 or 5 p.m., there's probably like 2. So yeah, not very many. Question number 10 is, what kind of books do you like to read? That's my favorite question. That's the whole reason why I did this newbie book tag, even though I kind of hate most of the questions, I have to be honest. Well, I read mainly horror. That's my favorite genre. I also love reading fantasy. I love reading some litfic every now and then, and just mixing it up a little. I also like to read a cute little romance sometimes. Yes, my top 3 genres are horror, fantasy, and litfic, if you need a top 3. So yeah, here I have pulled out a couple of my favorite books, and I just can't wait to show you. So I guess we'll start from my all-time favorite book, which is Archer Knight by Mariana Enriquez. She is one of my favorite authors. I read this book in May last year, and basically I haven't been able to stop thinking about it since. I loved it so much. It has all of my favorite things. It's basically a perfect book, in my opinion. It's supernatural, horror, there's a cult, there's demons, there's occult stuff going on. What more could you ask for, really? I adore this book. Tender is the Flesh. I read this last year as well. I love it. I absolutely adore this. It has loads of tabs, and it's one of my favorite books of all time. Top 3, for sure. I adored this book. It's one of the best things I've ever read. You've surely heard about this. It's a dystopia in which everyone is a cannibal. What's better than that? Book that was in my top 3 last year. Actually, like, my number 1 was obviously Archer Knight. My number 2, I don't remember what my number 2 was, but it was either Tender is the Flesh or this one, Linghuan. I think that's how it's pronounced, at least, by Ai Jiang. I'm sorry if I'm pronouncing this the wrong way, but there. This is one of my favorite books of all time. So it's also horror, and it's about a town where in the houses in this town, you can summon ghosts. If you like books about grief and haunted places, this is incredible. I just want more people to read this book. Then, I don't know if you have noticed, but I have a little bit of a Junji Ito collection here behind me, and that's because he's one of my all-time favorite authors. And I adore him. I am obsessed with him. I am obsessed with Junji Ito. And I will read anything that he publishes. Favorite is Uzumaki, but I am completely obsessed with Tomie as well. And Smashed is also one of my favorites, as well as Dissolving Classroom, which is, I think, one of his most underrated books, but it's definitely worth it. I love gory books. I love books that are a bit over the top, that are a bit ridiculous, that don't take themselves too seriously. Dissolving Classroom is definitely a book that does not take itself seriously at all, and it's just a good time, just fun. Speaking about fantasy, my absolute favorite fantasy series is the Wayward Children series by Shannon Maguire. Every Heart a Doorway is the first book in the series. I absolutely love it. This one, the first one, is my favorite, and it's a very whimsical series about children that go through portals. And in this one specifically, there's also some murder that happens, and who doesn't love that, right? Then another fantasy that I adore, and this is like the last book I think I'll speak about, because I feel like I've spoken for a long time now. The last book that I want to talk about is Hellbent by Leigh Bardugo. I love Leigh Bardugo. I've read the Shadow and Bone trilogy, and I love it, even though I know that it's not a favorite. It's not a fan favorite, as far as I know. There's many people that love fantasy that hate that series, and I get it. It's not the best, but I had a good time reading it. I've also read Six of Crows and Crooked Kingdom, and I love them. I love them more than Shadow and Bone, for sure. So I have not read King of Scars and Rule of Wolves yet. I'm planning to, but who knows when that's going to happen. I feel like I've kind of lost a little bit of interest since, because I've read the other books in the Grishaverse a while ago now. So hopefully I'll get my interest back and get back to them. Anyways, Hellbent, specifically, not Ninth House. I think this is so much better than Ninth House. I just loved everything that happened in Hellbent. It felt a little bit random at times, but I love that. I did love that, even if it didn't always make sense. While I found certain parts of Ninth House a bit boring, I have to say. Like, Ninth House is probably my least favorite book by Leigh Bardugo, and Hellbent is my favorite. Don't know what that tells you about me, but so it is. I guess that's all for now. Hopefully this video doesn't suck. I've been wanting to start a booktube channel for years now. Years. But I finally decided to start it now because, well, fall is approaching and that's my favorite season, and I want to try to make some fall themed vlogs and some spooky time vlogs. And also because I'm going to be moving, like, next week. I haven't started preparing for it yet. I really should have, but I haven't. But yeah, we'll have the whole month, me and my partner, to pack up everything and move to our new house. And I thought, wouldn't it be fun to try and vlog the move? wouldn't it be fun to try and make a little bit of a moving vlog or organizing my library vlog? I have only this one Billy shelf and a couple of others around the house, but I'm planning on getting more, even because this one's getting a bit full. And this shelf here behind me right now is my horror shelf, and it's getting full. There's no more space on it. And I could turn some of the books that I have facing out, but I don't want to do that. I want to have them facing out because I just love those covers. So instead of making more space by turning the books that I have facing out, I'll just be getting a couple of new shelves, and hopefully they won't get full too quickly. So I thought it would just be fun to try and vlog that and see how that goes. So I think I've been procrastinating on starting a booktube channel just because I did not want to do this video. I did not want to film the newbie book tag because I just hate those questions. But I thought, well, it's now or never, because next week we'll be moving and I want to be able to vlog that, and I don't want that to be my very first video. So I just had to do it. I had to start. And I know this background isn't the best, and I'm filming on my phone, so that won't be the best either, but hopefully it will be getting better. Also, yeah, this is the first video I've ever filmed, so hopefully I did not just do a too terrible of a job, and hopefully my English isn't too terrible either. Hopefully I don't have too much of an accent. I probably do. I probably don't hear myself, but I do, and I'm sorry about it. There's nothing I can do to better it at the moment. I guess I'll just end this here, and I'll try editing a video for the first time. I still don't have an editing app. If you have any recommendations on what to use, please leave me a comment, because I am feeling a little bit lost at the moment, not gonna lie, but I'm gonna try my best. And I guess I'll see you in my next video if I keep making them. Bye!